So, get a load of this. In about 2 weeks, I'm going to my 30th high school reunion. 30 years since I was in high school. That's a long time ago, and there are going to be a lot of very old people there. Some of them haven't aged very well. I weep for those people. I mean, not like me. I've aged like a fine wine or a very old sloppy slab of smelly cheese. You know, the thing about high school reunions, and again, this is the 30th reunion. You're talking about 1984 is when I graduated high school. The thing about the 30th reunion that is so much different than many of the others is, at this point in our lives, I'm no longer concerned about what the other kids in my class are doing. Like, I don't really care who's got the most amount of money, or who's driving the nicest car, or, you know, who's got the sweet gig and the trophy wife. I don't give a damn anymore. You know what I care about now that I'm 30 years out of high school? I care about when am I going to get my next prostate exam? I worry about, hey, do I have all the proper withholding for my federal income taxes for next year? Because I'd hate to have to pay out again. I'm more worried about, is my cholesterol level too high? A little concerned about that. I could care less whether or not the girls in high school who rejected me got fat and married losers. I mean, that was the kind of stuff that I cared about during the 10th and 15th high school reunion. At that point, you're critical because you're all so worried about everyone judging you that the only way to really kind of encapsulate that moment is to criticize everybody else. Well, I'm beyond that. Again, I got a prostate to worry about. I got cholesterol. I need to think about. I mean, those are the kinds of things that, quite frankly, they trump all the pettiness and all the cliquishness of high school. All the things that used to suck about high school, I've learned don't really make much sense when you're an adult. I went to my 25th high school reunion, and not everybody who was there I could say, well, you know, we were close friends in high school. Most of those kids I didn't give a shit about back then. But there were people that I did give a shit about, quite a lot in fact. When you think about it, the people in high school, at one point in everyone's life, were like the most important people in your life. You know, back then, 30 years ago. I mean, there are a couple people I still stay in touch with, but for the most part, yeah, I don't know where most of these people are. All I know is I don't really care that much what they do. I don't care how successful they are. I just want to make sure that everyone's still alive, that everyone's still healthy, and that we're there. I think if you can get to that milestone after 30 years, you're doing okay. The more of these high school reunions you have, the less and less of us there are to go. I know in my class, we've lost a bunch of people to really tragic circumstances. And yeah, then there are a bunch of people that just don't want to go because they think they're going to be, you know, criticized or judged. And frankly, yeah, maybe 10 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, I would have judged you harshly. I'm not doing that anymore. Listen, you know, at this point, you made it to 48 years old. That's enough of an accomplishment for me. I'm good with that. You just go ahead and, you know, do what you do in your life. I'll see you in 5 years, and then we can catch up, and you can tell me about your lumbago, or you can tell me about your AFib, or you can tell me about your diverticulitis. Man, those would be some great stories when we're all 60 and 70 years old. I'm looking forward to the diverticulitis stories. It hurts every time I go poop. I can't wait for that. Can't wait for those stories. But you know, the thing about high school, in retrospect, while it was awkward and petty and, you know, cliquey back then, when you see your high school classmates now, that stuff doesn't really mean anything. Makes you think that when you were in high school, you wasted a lot of time not liking people simply because they weren't in your group. They weren't a part of your social framework. A lot of wasted time in not liking people. Because everyone's got something to tell. Everyone's got a story. Most of them are really interesting. Except in 2 weeks when I have to hear them all during my 30th high school reunion with all them old people.